Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cat Scene Investigator Animal News. I'm Dusty Rainbolt, the Cat Scene Investigator. Welcome to the show. October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month, so I wanted to talk to someone who's a real expert in shelter dogs. Joining me today is the ultimate superhero to rescue, Burt Ward. He starred as Robin the Boy Wonder in the famous Batman TV series from the 1960s, which I absolutely didn't miss a show. Back in those days, he was the Cape Crusader, but in addition to his acting career, Burt is also the Canine Crusader. Burt and his lovely wife, Tracy, have rescued and adopted out more than 15,500 dogs in the last 26 years, primarily from shelters. Burt, thanks for joining me.
Hello, citizen.
Thank you. Well, okay, so interesting story, I guess. How did you go from Cape Crusader to Canine Crusader?
Well, about 26 years ago, when my wife and I moved with our 3-year-old daughter to where we live now, we decided to get her a large breed dog for her to grow up with. And my wife was raised with Irish Wolfhounds. I always liked Great Danes. So we set on a search to find a big dog. And we heard about a Great Dane that needed rescue, and we thought, oh, gee, great, all right, let's rescue. That's a good thing to do. Then we heard about a second one that needed rescue, and we also rescued that one. But the other ones that we heard about all seemed to be safe at the time, meaning they were in someone's home, they weren't in a shelter, there was no immediate threat to their lives. So we didn't take them because we figured, well, these people will find them a home. As we found out about a month later, that all the ones we didn't take were ultimately given to shelters and put to death. And that was very upsetting to us. And upon some more research, we found out that dogs are rescued what they call breed specific, meaning there's a Chihuahua rescue, there's a German Shepherd rescue. Just about every breed has a rescue. And the person that was rescuing Great Danes was a lady that had actually just recently died. So now there was no Great Dane rescue in Southern California, and literally dozens and dozens a week were being put to death in shelters. And I said to my wife, Tracy, and this is the first week of August, 1994, I said, Tracy, we can't let these dogs die. How about just for a couple of weeks? Do we find somebody else to take it over? You know, let's just rescue them, you know? Well, she said yes. And by the end of the first month, it was 102 Great Danes in our house with 62 puppies under 7 weeks of age, all of which required my wife to sleep on the kitchen floor with the one mother. She helped them connect and disconnect and get the mother out to go to the bathroom, bring in the next mother. And with 7 of them, she wasn't getting any sleep. And she kept saying to me, Burt, it's been more than 2 weeks. And actually, Dusty, it's turned out to 26 years. I'm still waiting for the right person to come and rescue me. But, you know, I wouldn't really trade it for anything because we love these dogs. And in the course of 26 years now, we've rescued 15,500. Every single dog was rescued, most of them, I'd say, from animal shelters on their last day before they were put to sleep. And some were dropped off by people that had to give them up. You know, our name, you know, as we started taking breed after breed, and first started with Great Danes. And after Great Danes, then, you know, people would say, well, I guess I'll drop off my Great Dane, but take my my Chihuahua to the shelter to be put to sleep. And Tracy and I would look at each other, no, you leave it here. And so my wife, over the years, has redefined the term Great Dane to mean if it has 4 legs and a tail, it must be a Great Dane. You know, so, but we actually rescue now 45 different breeds. There's only 164 breeds of dogs. But in the course of saving so many lives, obviously, Dusty, you want them to live long. Mm-hmm. So we saw that our Great Danes and our other large breeds were living very short lives, 7 to 9 years, which is traditional for them. And we said, this is terrible. We got to try to find something. We got to try to figure this out. So what we did is we saw that by the way we fed and cared for them, we actually could affect their longevity. And we developed over a few years a feeding and care program, which is on our website, gentlegiantsdogfood.com. And there's a special menu and with a section on there that says special feeding and care program. So your viewers can go and read about how we do it. It really explains it in detail. But we also then, and we got them up to about 10 years on average.
Wow.
Instead of 7 to 9 years, we were actually 10 to 12 years. So we had an increase of 3 years on average per dog. But of course, we wanted to go further. So the only thing we knew we could do would be to, make their food. And we figured, well, we can afford it. Let's go out and let's hire the best people we can, make the finest dog food in the world. And again, this was not to sell it. It was for our own rescue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you live with more than 50 dogs in your house, believe it or not, it takes up a lot of your time. So the outside world you're almost oblivious to, because now you're spending all your time with these dogs. So when we went to create the food, we thought, well, maybe we can add a year and a half to the dog's life by just the highest quality food. But what we found out was devastating to us. And what we found out was that all the dog food companies know something the average person doesn't know, which is the more fat content you put in dog food, the hungrier it makes dogs. The hungrier it makes them, the more they eat. The more they eat, the more dog food you buy. And it's really pretty serious, because if you look on a bag of dog food, next to the ingredients is a chart called guaranteed analysis. First item is protein. Second is crude fat, which, by the way, doesn't say healthy fat. It says crude fat because it includes saturated fats. And the average dog food has anywhere from 12 to 22% of the entire food is crude fat. Ours is only what's actually in the food, which is about 9%. So it's a big difference. But something's even worse that's shortening dogs' lives. And what that is, and I tell people, go, whatever dog food you have, go get a couple of kibbles out of the bag, rub them in your fingers, and then put them down and rub your fingers together and see if you don't feel a slightly greasy feeling. Well, everybody does, because that's just about the way it is. And they say, well, what is that? And I said, that is chicken fat or another animal fat that's sprayed on the food to make your dog hungrier to eat more food. And I said, but we believe that that is deadly to dogs. And they said, well, what do you mean deadly? I said, well, think of it this way. Would you take bacon grease and pour it down your garbage disposal at home? And of course, people say, of course not. I would never do that because I'd ruin it. I said, that's right. So when you realize that animal fat will ruin a metal garbage disposal, what do you think is happening to the arteries and intestines of your favorite pet? When every single kibble, every single meal, every single bite is encapsulated in animal fat. So other people's dogs, most of them are living, 8, 10, 12 years, something like that. And then they get to a point where they can't get up anymore, and they start pooping and peeing on themselves. And that's when people take them to a vet to be euthanized, even though mentally the dog is still perfectly alert. And it's very sad. Our dogs are running around like puppies in their mid-20s, living as long as 27 and a half years on our Gentle Giants dog food, which is designed solely to help dogs live longer and healthier, not designed for profit. My wife and I don't take any salary from this. This is all about loving animals. And because with our Gentle Giants dog food, we don't take any salary, our dog food in retail stores like Target and Walmart and online with all the online retailers, our dog food actually retails for about half the price of what you would pay in a pet store. So our motto has become half the price and twice the life.
Wow, that's just amazing. It's so exciting to hear what you're doing with their longevity. Now, all right, share with me, how many dogs do you have in the house right now?
Oh, we always have a minimum of 50. I know that, and people, if they want to, and they say, oh, you mean 15? Oh, no, I mean more than 50. Go to our website, gentlegiantsdogfood.com, and the first thing you'll see is a video of my wife, Tracy, and I in bed with more than 50 of them. Now, they can't all get into bed at the same time, especially the really giant ones, but they're on and off the bed, and they're all in the room. I mean, we always have a minimum of 50 dogs with us, and that is for the last 26 years. Think about it, caring for more than 50 dogs at any single time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 26 years.
That's a lot of dogs. How much dog food is that a week or a day?
Well, a day, it's 600 pounds a day. So that would be 4,000, that would be over 2.5 tons a week. We feed 16 bags a day. And I must tell you something, lifting, carrying, pouring, and cleaning up for that is, that's a big job.
That's a lot of dog food. We feed a lot of cats, but oh my goodness, that's a lot of dog food. If you want to ask Bert a question yourself, then join us October 3rd at Eagle's Nest at the American Eagle Harley Davidson in Corinth, Texas, for the 5th annual Hogs for Paws Rescue Ride. Hogs for Paws is raising money for Operation Kindness, North Texas' largest no-kill shelter. And Burt Ward kindly offered to appear for us virtually live from 1 to 3 p.m. We know what all you've done for dogs, and that's really impressive. But I'm on the cat side, so tell me, what have you done for kitties?
Well, in the last 26 years, we've transported somewhere between 400 to 500 of them to rescues from shelters across the country. And we actually have a number of our own kitties. We love cats as well. In fact, it's so funny because I have a photo of me that I found back when I was shooting Batman, where I had at the time 22 cats in my apartment. And so I have a photo of me, which is, by the way, going to be on our new cat food bag, that has got all these cats on my lap while I've got my Robin script or Batman script in front of me while I was studying. So it's kind of a cool thing. But let me tell you what happened. Years ago, probably 24, 25 years ago, on one of the transports, someone came here, and what they said was, look, we've got a whole bunch of feral cats that we're going to have to drop off at the shelter, and they're going to put them all to sleep because they're really not adoptable. But we see you've got this big, beautiful building here on your property. How about you put out some cat food and cat pans and let them live in your big building? They'll keep the mice away, and this way they don't have to die. And Tracy and I said, we don't want any beautiful pet to die. So we took in those, and they've lived here all these years. But last year we lost 2 of them. One of them was 31 years old, which is pretty incredible for a cat to live that long. The other was 32 years old. And if you can only imagine that in addition to the cat food that we had there for them, we had our dog food, which they primarily ate. They ate our dog food, and they lived up to 31 to 32 years. So knowing that cats do need some extra protein and some other things, we went back to these top people that created our formulations and said, let's make the finest cat food in the world. And they took what we have already from our dog food and designed it perfectly for cats. And we've been doing testing for actually almost a year on this, and amazing results with cats healing faster than they ever, everything you can imagine, just doing so well on our food. So now next month, either late October, early November, Gentle Giant's cat and kitten food will be available online. And in fact, at this coming event next Saturday, October 3rd at Hogs for Paws, we're trying very hard to see if we can bring some bags of our new cat food that we just had printed, along with bags of our dog food that we're giving away to hundreds of the visitors coming to the event.
Wow. Well, you heard it here first, folks. We're going to have Gentle Giant's cat food. And I got to tell you, the Rainbolt Test Kitties are standing in line to give it a try. So can't wait to get some of those bags. Meanwhile, every Hogs for Paws rescue rider will receive a free bag of Gentle Giant's dog food among the other swag for helping Operation Kindness. So go to hogsforpaws.com, and that's hogs with the numeral 4, paws.com, and register and check out at Hogs for Paws on Instagram and Facebook for more information. Well, Bert, this time has flown by. Had such a good time. I hate to cut it short, but it looks like we're going to have to do that. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I'd just like to say to all your viewers out there that both my wife, Tracy, and myself will be live virtually on Saturday, October 3rd at Hogs for Paws. We invite people who have pets to come out and visit with us, ask any question you want, and we'll explain to you how to help your dog or cat live 5 to 10 or 15 years longer and healthier with a wonderful quality of life.
I'm really looking forward to that because they just don't live long enough as it is now. Thank you, Burt, so much. I'm looking forward to a much longer conversation with you and Tracy virtually next week live. Thank you and see you soon.
To the Batmobile, citizen.